DigiMarCon digital marketing conference here at the Paradox Hotel, Vancouver, British Columbia, with Mr. David Wong, who just did a speech on B2B marketing, LinkedIn, sales, navigator, strategy, and I think he did a great job. I think it was a good, attentive audience. What type of information were you sharing on your speech?
Sales Navigator, as you were saying, how to use Sales Navigator, how to identify the people on the platform, how to start conversations with them, connecting with them, how to bring them from an online conversation to an offline meeting so that you can actually go and do your sales when the time is right.
Right. So, what kind of tips and advice were you giving? Because there's a lot of AI conversations going on, and you're really uh, you tap into the more authentic,
Yeah.
right, way of communicating. What is that about?
So definitely no disrespect to AI. I definitely think there's a time and place for that, but still at the current state that it's at, I don't think it can actually replace the human to human kind of actual messaging and personalization of things. You know, for me at least, I can easily spot when someone sounds robotic, right? And if you're trying to stand out in an inbox full of 20 other people that are hitting up you every day, you're not going to respond to the one that sounds robotic. You're going to hit up that reply to that one that actually sounds like, okay, this guy seems like he knows a little bit about me, did their background due diligence before they reached out to me. And so I feel like really, unless AI can replace that part about me, I don't think I'm ever going to get beat. Yeah.
We're talking about paid advertising, and I know as a marketer you still offer that as a service, but why do you steer away from it as an initial offering?
Yeah. So paid advertising, especially if you're doing it, if you're doing it in house, all you're spending is your ad budget. But if you're engaging an agency to work with you, you're not only paying the ad dollars, but you're also paying the retainer. So if you go straight into paid advertising without actually understanding who your audience is and what messaging resonates with them, you're pretty much just throwing money down the drain, right? So if you do an outbound campaign or do your background research onto what messaging works, what the target audience is that actually resonates with that message before you take that information and put that into a paid ads just to give it a bigger boost, that's the way you should really be doing it. Yeah.
Now, you are a big advocate for Sales Navigator. Why is it such a great tool for targeting your client avatar?
Well, people who are active on LinkedIn, they're always updating their actual profile. So if you are to go after someone who uh, basically, if you want to go after people who are the ones you want to go after, and ones who are the only place really that they're updating is LinkedIn, right? You can go to use tools like Apollo and other tools, no disrespect, but those tools take a while to scrape and be updated. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the place that people are updating their profiles. So if you're out there reaching out and finding the people, that's the first place to look at because they're there and it's updated, right? Not everybody updates it, but if they do, that's the first place that you should check.
We're talking a lot about sales, not pipelines, but sales cycles. And when it comes to LinkedIn marketing or just online marketing, what is a general term of sales cycle for as a marketer?
For the client side or our side?
Client side.
Client side, B2B, right? LinkedIn. I would say, especially with any B2B sales, typically 3 months is a minimum. Cold outbound, I'm talking about. Like inbound, people are ready to buy, it's much shorter. But if you're going cold, at least 3 months. A lot of people I see 6 months. We have some clients who are 12 to 24 months. So it really depends on where your sales cycle or how long your sales cycle is. And keep that in mind as you're running these campaigns before, throwing in the towel too early. Because maybe you just haven't had enough time in the market to know whether or not it actually works.
What is your niche as a marketer when it comes to your services? I know that you are a lead generation agency. Um, how much work do you do on behalf of your clients before they need to take over?
We aim to basically take on everything before the sales up to our clients. So figuring out who their client avatar is together with them. And then from there, we'll do the messaging, we'll do the responding in their actual inbox, and we'll book in the meetings for them as well. So we basically just want to make it so that our client's only goal is to have to show up for that meeting with the information that they need to have about the prospect, what they've been talking about, so that you don't run into instance where you ask a prospect a question where they're going to say back to you, I told you about that. We talked about that on LinkedIn already. What do you mean? You don't remember, right? You don't want that disconnect. So with all the information you possibly need, so you can show up in the meeting feeling confident.
Are there a size? Okay, there was a good question in the audience today that was talking about their business profile on LinkedIn or their business account. And I think she was asking how to get more engagement with the business profile on LinkedIn. and why they need to use their personal profiles. What's the difference, and what do you advocate for?
Yeah. The company profile or a LinkedIn page is really just a resource. It's like another format of your website, but on LinkedIn itself, right? People are never actively searching for a company page. So if you're actually looking to drive leads from the company page, you got to find a way to give traffic to it, whether it be sending traffic to it from your personal profile, reaching out to people, asking them to check out your page for a call to action, or there's actually a really cool feature. I forgot to mention this earlier on LinkedIn where every month you get 250 credits, like invite credits to invite people to follow your page. And that's another way in. I wouldn't waste those credits just inviting people every month. Post something really cool and then do the invite so that people get the invite to check out your page and then they just see that thing you just posted a couple days ago. Right.
You were talking about content. I mean, we with your agency, we're creating thought leadership with your customer base and content. You were talking about how content doesn't need to be sexy on LinkedIn. Why is that?
Well, people just naturally don't expect because so look, if you're doing content by yourself, as most people are, none of us are graphic designers, right? That's why they hire an agency. So if you're going to spend all of your time trying to create a sexy post to make it look good before you post it and end up really just never getting it done, anything is better than nothing, right? And most people actually respect the fact that you as a business owner, you put in the time to put a post out. So it doesn't have to be sexy for that reason, right?
What type of content do you focus on? Like some niche pieces of content that you do for your clients as thought leaders?
There's no one specific type of format. I think it really just depends on the algorithm of the time. What's it pushing? Is it pushing video? Is it pushing carousel or quote cards? So figuring and noticing how that's playing out just by the reactions that you're getting. Oh, my videos are getting more engagement. Let's do more videos. But as a general rule of thumb, it's always good to have all formats going at any given time. So the content system that we use to make sure that we maximize the amount of content that we can create is starting off with one video. So have someone interview you one question, take that one video that you make, maybe it's a minute, 2 minute long, convert that into two sliding decks or carousels, and take those two carousels, convert them into two quote cards each. And that just becomes 7 pieces of content that you made with just one video.
Sounds pretty simple and straightforward. I mean, David just gave all his whole process. He gave a nice 40-minute speech. He gave the audience the whole trick of the trade. You could do it yourself, and a lot of people will come and just want maybe some appointment setting. So tell us what appointment setting is and why your clients need it.
Yep. So appointment setting is basically just the idea of having the conversations with, on behalf of our client, with the prospects that we've connecting them with, or that they've connected with themselves. Right. The whole point about appointment setting is to nurture, build that relationship with the prospects, warm them up so that they know, like, and trust you before they're willing to get on that meeting with you. So, if you're going and trying to do it yourself and every message that you're sending is to do a sale or get an appointment, that's not going to work. You're probably going to take 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7 messages before someone considers you likable before you can go in there and ask for a meeting. And that's the goal of the appointment setter, is to set that appointment for you so that you just have to show up for it. Yeah.
What are you seeing that's not working on LinkedIn?
Not working.
Well, on behalf of customers, when people are marketing their own products and services, what are they doing wrong?
Going straight in for the sale. That's probably so. There are people who would send an invitation connection with the pitch in it. I don't even accept those. And then there are ones who invite you to connect. I connect with them, and the first introduction message is the pitch. So I always say, take it one step at a time. Every message that you send is to close for the next step. What is it? The first step of sending the connection invite is to get the invite accepted. The next step of the introduction message is to just get a reply, not a sale. And then once you start building a rapport, then you can go in for not the sale, but the meeting, so you can chat more about the product. And even on the sales meeting itself, you may not be a one call close or one meeting close deal anyways, right? So always making sure that just closing for the next step is probably the way to go.
You touched on a couple of good things earlier during your speech, and it was really about asking questions. And I heard Gary Vee talk earlier today, not here, but about being a good listener, listening to your clients. When it comes to these types of approaches, what works best?
Well, if you're doing it yourself, definitely listen and pay attention to what it is that is resonating with your prospect, because that's going to help you clue in on what you need to adjust on your script or on the content. So especially in the comments of your content, if people are commenting or asking you certain questions, you may want to create follow-up content specific to the thing that they're asking about or that they're very engaged about. Maybe your video is 2 minutes long, you talk about 2, 3 things in there, but everyone's commenting about that one thing. Hone in on that one thing and create more content around that because clearly that's resonating with them.
I see a lot of people when you're talking about LinkedIn, and even through automations, you can only do X amount of touch points or engagements or requests. Talk about quality over quantity.
Yep. So the limitations that you're talking about, 25 invites per day, follow-up messages about 50 to 100, depending on how warm your profile is. So I didn't touch on this earlier as well, but as you're warming up your profile, the reason you want to be careful is because LinkedIn is not going to like it if you go from 0 to 100 in a single day, because you went from literally pretty much inactive to sending 25 invites. They're not going to like that. So when we ramp up our client campaigns, we go from the first week about 5 invites per day. Next week we push it up to 10 and then 15 and then finally up to 25 to gradually warm that profile up. Because even if you're doing it manually, LinkedIn, if you go from 0 to 100, it's going to think you're using some sort of automation tool automatically, right? What was the question?
No, that was good. My next and kind of last question was, what are some easy tips on someone's profile that they can update today?
Making sure, so top 3 things: profile picture, making sure it's professional and you're presented in a way that's relevant to the people that you want to sell to. Your headline banner, so that's a big digital piece of real estate, and a lot of people just put a photo of their city that they live in for whatever reason. So you want to make sure that the banner has a call to action on it. People know what you do as well. Maybe your website, maybe your phone number, if that's how you normally do business. And then the headline that's below your profile picture as well, making sure you're calling out what it is that you do and how you help the people that you're trying to serve. The reason for that being, when people do a LinkedIn search for your service, if, for example, if you're a recruiter, if people type in recruiter and you're the one that says, I help ABC companies or recruit XYZ, you're going to be the one that stands out amongst everyone else who just says, I'm the CEO of Exposify or CFO or owner of ABC Recruiting, right? No one's gonna. What does that even mean, right?
And my actual last question is, how do you get this perfect haircut, coif? How does David do the hair in the morning?
It's all in the Dyson. It's all in the Dyson.
Life hack, guys.
Yeah.
Mr. Wong, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Congrats on the great speech today. 2024 DigiMarCon conference here at the Paradox Hotel. We'll see you out.